Welcome back again for those who were here for the Motor Valley fam trip, and welcome for the new food and wine lovers who would like to learn more about everything is concerning food in Emilia-Romagna. Well, first of all, let me welcome you from this special place, the Library of the Cineteca of Bologna, the film archive in Bologna. In this library, there is a special collection of over 47,000 volumes dedicated to the history and technical evolution of national and international cinema. Well, we were saying Food Valley is the subject matter of this fam trip. Well, we can say that it's a very interesting subject matter for all tour operators, and everywhere you go in Italy you will find a lot of products and recipes and local tradition to discover. But with our 44 certified product, PDO and GPI certification, we have the highest concentration of certified product in Italy and in Europe. Well, this is maybe a reason why the American magazine Forbes described Emilia-Romagna as the gastronomic treasure of Italy. Today, for this fam trip, I have 4 special guests who will help me to introduce the Food Valley of Emilia-Romagna, and we start we'll proceed with order in that part of the region called Emilia. So we follow along the Via Emilia, the red thread of Emilia-Romagna. We follow an ideal gastronomic tour starting from Piacenza and going down to Romagna. The first guest I would like to introduce you is Andrea Aiolfi from Food Valley Travel and Leisure. Well, the name says already that he is deeply specialized in food and wine offers. Andrea, Food Valley.
Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Andrea, and I'm the owner of Food Valley Travel. We are based in Parma, and in this occasion I will represent all the Emilia territory, which is from Piacenza to Reggio Emilia. Parma is considered like a capital of Food Valley because it was recently recognized also by UNESCO as the creative gastronomy capital of food. We have many products. Most of them are worldwide known, and ideally in this gastronomic tour that we make here virtually, I will tell you how it will work also in practice. So usually we start in the morning with Parmigiano Reggiano because it's made in the morning, very early. And
so it's just sorry to interrupt you, it's just an example of a food trip that you can organize in order to discover the main product, the main iconic product of the Food Valley. And we started with Parmigiano, you were saying.
Yes, exactly. It's called, we call it Food Valley Gourmet Tour, and it's always the most requested one because in just one day, in a single day, you can visit and admire all the most famous product of the area. So I was saying Parmigiano Reggiano, which is, it doesn't need any presentation because it's the most popular cheese in the world. We can organize private visit to the making of it, and also with regular tours in small groups. The nice thing, because you can see all the processes of the making of it. So it's really a wow moment.
A wow visit.
Yes, for all, especially Americans, but from all over the world, because they understand why it's such an amazing product and so unique.
Yeah, let me tell you, it's not a factory.
Yeah.
Like the consortium of Parmigiano Reggiano always says, we don't produce Parmigiano Reggiano, we make it, because the procedures are still those from ancient times.
Yeah, it's still the same. Of course, there is a little bit of machinery, but as you can see also from the images, the human part is still the most important one. So it cannot be substituted by any machine.
Oh, that's the part that I love. When during the visit of a Parmigiano Reggiano cheesery, when they lift up that block of
it's like a giant
boiled,
mozzarella.
Yeah, there is only one person who is allowed to cut it in 2 pieces. That's the cheese master of the cheesery, and that's very fascinating.
Yeah, it's a very hard job because you need a lot of expertise, and you have to consider that it's made every single day. So even for Christmas time, there is no vacation for the cows. So all the people that is involved in this business, in this amazing work, has to work every day, waking up early in the morning.
Yeah.
So we can proceed. Then we are going south towards the other popular product, which is prosciutto di Parma. What is called Parma ham in foreign countries. Parma ham is made only in a very small area up in the hillside of Parma. There is approximately 100 producers. Also, in this case, we can organize visits directly to the producers. It's a little different because it's not like in Parmigiano, with the Parmigiano, that every day you see all the processes. Here, every day they do something different. So you can even come different times to see also different aspects. Even in this case, the man is still most important because there is machinery that helps the work of the people, but it's still a very artisanal product, and the quality is it's really the top that you can have.
You can taste the quality.
Yeah.
And well, slowly we arrive at lunchtime, although after all this visit you organize a tasting, obviously. Yes. You cannot go to a cheesery or Parma ham visit without tasting it. But during lunchtime, what can you propose?
Well, usually we have different options. One of those is going to a winery, because maybe wines are not so popular in Emilia-Romagna like the food, but there are really good wines. I can mention some, for example, Lambrusco, which is made in the provinces of Parma, Reggio Emilia, and Modena as well. Gutturnio, which is typical of the area of Piacenza. Malvasia, talking about the white wines. So it's really a surprise, it's really a discovery, because it's a perfect match with our typical products. Most of them are sparkling, even the red ones, which is a characteristic typical of this territory. And it's always, it happens always that people then, they want to find it in the countries of origin, which is not so easy because there are small productions, and you have to come to taste it.
That's it.
That's the only...
Easily, yeah. And what happens in the afternoon? How can we proceed?
Well, we can, of course, there are other products as well which are less known but still very unique. For example, il culatello di Zibello it's another cured meat which is made in a very small area in the northern part of the province of Parma, only in 8 small villages along the Po River. And here it's completely manually made. So there is no machine. You can visit these amazing aging cellars. Some of them are from the medieval times, so really worth the trip, because you can find thousands of culatello hanging in these amazing places. And the production is, of course, much less than prosciutto di Parma, but still it's a real discovery when they know about it. And unfortunately, even this product is not exported all over the world, but only in a few of them. So you must come to taste it.
Yeah, of course. Okay. And yeah, I was saying that in the previous fam trip, we talked about the Motor Valley, and the connection between food and motor can be experienced also during a food tour. For example, you can use normal buses, obviously, but also
yeah, we have the possibility also to rent vintage cars. Yeah. So real old ladies from the 60s and the 70s, Italians or even from UK, and you drive your car on your own. We give you all the maps and the direction to follow, and in each step there will be someone to welcome you, and of course it's a very romantic and fascinating way to...
A food treasure hunt, something like that. Yeah. In this case, you don't have to drink too much, but at least you can taste all the beautiful product. Exactly. Okay. Thank you. Right. Let's carry on our journey along the Via Emilia, our gastronomical tour, and we end to Modena. Modena with Luca Sandri of Modena Tour that we find again here. In Modena, what can we find? What are the top quality products that this area can offer?
We have a lot of them, just like all the other parts of the Emilia-Romagna region, as my colleague Andrea already told you. Let's start from the most iconic product of our province, which is the traditional balsamic vinegar of Modena, PDO.
We have, I must say, that the traditional balsamic vinegar is from Modena and Reggio Emilia.
Yes, obviously, of course. There are different consortiums, yes, but the production area is in between the two territories. So it's also called the black gold of Modena. It's made only with local grapes that age inside these barrels, these casks that we can see now on the video. And the only ingredient apart from the grapes is the thyme, because it's a product that must age years and years and years to become top quality. There are two different types of balsamico. There is the 12 years old and the 25 years old. Of course, it's possible to have the product aged more than 25, so there are some producers that sell 50 years, 100 years old balsamico. So it's a really this is why it's called the black gold, because it takes a lot of time and the quality is super excellent. It's possible to have tours at the production, of course, and it's possible to have shopping experiences with a convenient price, because as you can imagine, is a quite expensive product. But sure, you should use only few drops. So one bottle of 100 milliliters can last more than 1 year. So. Yeah. And but it never expires. This is a good thing of this product. Yeah, because once you took it from the casks and you put it in the glass, you can keep it in your kitchen, not in the fridge, but like in a regular kitchen for as long as you want, because the process of the acidification of the product is stopped, so it doesn't expire.
And we need to tell that it's still called vinegar, but it has nothing to do with the taste of a normal vinegar. It's like a syrup. It's a nectar that has its own taste, and well, you need to experience it.
Yes, definitely.
Once you know the history, you understand the worth of the product and the price, obviously.
And you will tell the difference between the low budget product that is possible to find on the worldwide supermarket shelves.
Yeah, sure. What else? What can we find in the area of Modena?
This is a nice matching with the vinegar. You can put it on top of ice cream, for instance. So
yeah, the old one with vanilla ice cream,
strawberry. For our audience.
Yeah, that's good.
Apart from the vinegar, let's say that Modena is also the town of Parmigiano Reggiano as well, because it's a product that is made from Parma to Modena, Reggio Emilia, and also a little slice of Bologna province.
Sure.
So it's like a regional product. Is the city of Lambrusco wine. Lambrusco wine had, let's say, not a top reputation in the 80s, because even if it was one of the most exported wine, the quality was not that good back in that period, because the request was a lot. So there was a big quantity of product on the market. The request was very high, so the quality was not at the top. Now, in the last few years, the producers started to make a product which is much more valuable from a quality level. So the production maybe is smaller, but the quality is growing very fast. So it's now an awarded wine that can be easily found in the best wine shops all around the world. And it's very good for the Emilia-Romagna type of cuisine, because it's a wine which is sparkling and fresh. So it helps with the food of the city, of Modena, of the region, Emilia-Romagna, which is usually very important if we're talking about the taste of the food.
Yeah, it's usually served chilled.
Definitely.
So it's
also nice for an aperitivo or
definitely. Yeah,
there are two different types of Lambrusco wine. The two most famous are the Grappa Rossa, which is darker and more sweet, let's say, and then there is the Sorbara, which is more light and dry.
Yeah. Something else to mention?
Parmigiano Reggiano, we already said that, and Modena is also, the province of Modena is very famous for a small red fruit, which is the cherry of Vignola. Vignola is a small, cozy village in the surrounding of Modena towards Bologna with a nice castle. And it's the producers of the best quality cherry available on the market. In the springtime, it's very nice to visit the city because it's possible to visit the plantation of cherries. It's possible to have dinners under the cherry trees with all these white, beautiful flowers. It's a very nice experience.
Okay, but how can we transform this visit to these delicacies into food and dining experiences?
Okay, first of all, we can transform what is already good into even better experiences, because we are very lucky in Emilia-Romagna. We have a lot of very good raw materials. So we have good milk, good water, good meat. And then the passion and the love of its people can turn this ingredient into a top quality product. And then we have a wide range of possibility to taste these products. Starting from the top quality restaurants. In Modena, we are very lucky and blessed because we have our best world ambassador, which is Massimo Bottura, the chef and owner of the Osteria Francescana, which is has been elected the best restaurant in the world. So Twice. It's a 3 Michelin stars restaurants right in the city center. So Massimo is one of our best and iconic ambassadors. He recently also opened a resort just outside Modena.
Yeah.
It's called Casa Maria Luigia, sorry. So it's possible to amplify the experience of a fine dining in Modena thanks to this new resort. But then there are a lot of traditional restaurants in the city center. Modena is an open-air food museum because there are a lot of bars, bistro, the historical covered market Albinelli, where you can taste and buy the local food. So it's really easy to spend an entire day in Modena, going from one historical shop to the market, to the restaurant. So there are a lot of people that can provide you with a fine dining experiences.
You mentioned museum. There are some food museums also in the area.
There are some private food museums in the area which are peculiar. For instance, we can have a visit of the Caffè Cagliari Museum. It's very peculiar because nobody thinks about the coffee when thinking about Modena, but still we have this producer that has an exhibition of historical coffee machines, which is very, very interesting and very unusual. That can be a nice add-on to a food tour. Then we have the Museo Giusti, which is a private museum owned by the Giusti Balsamic Farm, which is the first family who started selling professionally the balsamic vinegar, started a real business out of it in 1605, which is these images that we are seeing right now. And then another choice would be the Museo Musa. It's the museum of the charcuterie, Villani. Villani is a big producer of ham. And it's possible to visit this museum in Castelnuovo Rangone, where to learn how we can make nice charcuterie and salami out of the meat. So this is where they teach you how to make all the knots for the mortadella and so on. So it's a nice add-on.
Okay. Thank you, Luca. Let's proceed on the Via Emilia, and we arrive to the capital city of the region, Bologna. Bologna is the gateway of the region because thanks to its international airport connected with a major European city, but also with Dubai and Istanbul, and often it is used as, these two cities are used for long distances, so from people coming from East and Far East. But also it's an important traffic hub because of its motorway and railway station. Speed train are passing through Bologna. When you travel from north to south, you need to cross Bologna. So it's a very strategic point in the region and in Italy as well. A perfect base to discover the region and to discover the rest of the country. But let's stay in Emilia-Romagna. Bologna has a very funny nickname, which is Bologna the Fat. Why that? I will ask it to Samuele Zanini from Bologna. Welcome.
Thanks for the introduction, Silvia. Hello to everybody. Yes, Bologna has many names. The learned one, the red one, but now we are talking about the fat one. Why? Because Bologna has a very strong, hearty and opulent cuisine tradition. And for people that comes from Bologna, eating well is a very strong point. It's a top priority, we can say, for them. And we also have to thank the students that in the past times and now came to the University of Bologna, because they spread the word all around the world that here in Bologna and also in Emilia-Romagna region, you can eat very good food. And also we can find testimony in the literature, like a writer wrote that you can eat more in Bologna in 1 year than in Rome in 2 years, in Milan in 3, in Turin in 5, and in Genoa in 20. But
it's a huge concentration.
Yeah, it's a huge concentration. But I mean, what can you eat here in Bologna? A lot of things were invented here in this city or in the province. For example, the mortadella, that if you go to other shops in Italy, they call it Bologna. So the name of the city for the product. Or, of course, a traditional dish is tagliatelle.
Yeah, so not only product, but also traditional recipes.
Yes, traditional recipes, for example, tagliatelle, that are a large type of pasta like this one. And you know, the original recipe says that the pasta has to be, once cooked, 8 millimeters large. And they also invented that instrument in order to measure the tagliatelle.
Did you hear that? So not less and not more than 8 millimeters. We take food really seriously in Emilia-Romagna, you know?
Yes, and of course, Silvia, what can you put on top of tagliatelle?
Everybody knows it. So not the bolognese sauce, or yes, it is this one, but nobody in Italy calls it bolognese sauce. It is the ragu.
That's right. We have ragu, or if you want, ragu alla bolognese. That is a meat-based sauce that you can put on top of tagliatelle. But of course, you can use it for the lasagne alla bolognese. And then we have also the tortellini, so small and still made by the old ladies with their wise fingers. And later we will also see an example of it. And you can come to Bologna or to Emilia-Romagna region to learn how to make these tagliatelle, this ragu or lasagne, participating to a cooking class or a cooking show in a private house or in a cooking school. Why not?
Sure. But I think that when people arrive in Bologna and they stroll around the city center, the first thing they are impressed of is that strolling in the narrow streets
Yes.
in the city center, they see open market, they see so many shops selling typical product. They are like a gastronomical boutique.
Yeah.
They are such beautiful shop windows full of typical product.
That's right. Very close to Piazza Maggiore, you can find the Quadrilatero market. That is the oldest market of Bologna. Inside the Quadrilatero market, you still find old shops where here you can buy mortadella, for example. You can buy vegetables, food, pasta, tortellini, grana, and so on. There, you'll be surprised to find still people that comes from Bologna, local people that still lives in the city center, that buy their everyday food, meat, along with the tourists that they are in the market. Maybe they want to buy a souvenir. And you can also combine a cooking class with, in the morning, the visit of the market, for example. And in the market, you can, on one hand, you can buy food, and on the other hand, you can relax in one of the old towers. There is an old, very old tavern in the market of Bologna that still has the old tradition to just sell drinks.
Yeah.
Just sell drinks. You can stay there, drink all day long, and you can take the food from outside. You can bring whatever you want from outside, just like the old taverns in medieval times.
Yeah, there's something really unique, I think. You can bring your own food, what you just bought in these beautiful shops, and you order just to drink. Osteria del Sole, with also some publicity, because it's
I don't mind. I don't mind.
Place. It's a very, very special one.
Yes, and the other special things we can say that when, for example, I meet somebody that has been to Bologna, and I ask him, how did you find the city? The first things that I say, it's always good food. I eat very, very well in Bologna and only in the Emilia-Romagna region.
It happens to me as well, that's true. But typical food, not only in the city center, there are also some important stops that you can organize around Bologna, just outside the city.
Yes, of course, outside the city, just 20 minutes by bus, you'll find the biggest agri-food park in the world. I'm talking about Fico Italy World, that in 2 acres you can find 40 restaurants, workshops, animals, vineyards, you'll find also factories where they actually produce cheese, mortadella, or also panettone, for example, inside the Fico Italy world. You can find all Italian biodiversity, and you can learn also how to make food by having fun.
Sure, and tasting.
Yes, and of course, and tasting, because when you go to Fico, for example, a lot of people coming from all over the world, when they go there, they stay half day or a full day, and they have experience like workshop of pasta, and then they taste the traditional balsamic vinegar, maybe, because also in Fico there is the balsamic vinegar of Modena, and they have lunch in one of the 40 restaurants. I mean, it's a full day experience.
Or they can have a nice ice cream, for example.
Yes, that's right.
But talking about ice cream, there's another very special place, and we need to mention just outside Bologna, which is the Carpigiani factory, or the Carpigiani Gelato University.
That's right. Here in Bologna, a lot of people know that in Bologna you find the oldest university in the world, founded in 1088. But not many people know that you can find also the only university of ice cream in the world, the Carpigiani Gelato University. That is just 20 minutes by car from Bologna. And there they create the Carpigiani Gelato machinery that you find all around the world. And people coming from all the globe, we can say, goes there to learn how to become a very good ice cream maker.
Let's say that Carpigiani, well, the brand itself is not so renowned, but the best ice cream shop around the world, if you check, they will surely have an ice cream machine. It's really renowned worldwide for all artisanal ice cream. So it's a very, very important brand.
Yes. And a lot of tourists also goes there for the museum, and then they combine the visit of the museum with a workshop. So on one hand, they learn the history of ice cream, how ice cream was made during the Romans, the Arabs times. And on the other hand, they can actually do a workshop where with their own hand, they create ice cream as the Arabs were used to do. And you can also do some competition between 2 or 3 groups. And of course, you finish all the experience with a gelato tasting.
That's exactly, yeah. They are very versatile. They organize a lot of workshops, visits, experiences, and obviously at the end with
gelato tasting.
Nice tasting of gelato. It's always the best way to end. Okay, Samuele, we carry on our gastronomical tour following the Via Emilia, and we arrive in that part of the region called Romagna, the eastern part of the region. We stop for a while in Forlimpopoli. Funny name. Quite often foreign people say it, that's a funny name to pronounce it. A tiny little village, a little town, let's say, but it's so important for the history of gastronomy because it's the town where Pellegrino Artusi was born. But who is Pellegrino Artusi? Susi Patrito Silva, the director of Casa Artusi, will tell us.
Thank you so much. Well, very welcome. Of course, we are lucky. We are the food valley of Italy, so the father of Italian gastronomy was born here. In the little town of Forlimpopoli. So you are on the Via Emilia. Try to guess your trip, okay? You have been in Piacenza and then Parma. You go down in, you cross Bologna, you little stop in Modena, and then going southbound, you reach Romagna. 1820. So this year we celebrate Artusi's 200th birthday anniversary. He was born in 1820, and at that time, we have to remind that Italy did not exist. So how could it happen that he became father of Italian gastronomy if Italy did not exist? Let me tell you, he was a businessman. He used to travel because of his business from north to center to south of Italy. At that time, you needed a passport to be able to cross all these areas. He was a businessman. So first thing, the man who is father of Italian gastronomy was not a cook. He was a businessman. So as nowadays happened to all of us, he used to travel to be guests in the house of people he was doing business with, or spend time in small hotel managed by family. He really had a chance to taste the different typical dishes. And you already said, Silvia, that we are quite serious about typical dishes.
Yes, we are.
So just to give you an idea, a great food historian, Professor Massimo Montanari of the University of Bologna, wrote, if Mr. Pellegrino Artusi were alive nowadays, he would probably a food blogger and a travel blogger.
It's true, yeah. I'm sure
At that
of it.
time, no instrument, no smartphone, iPhone, and everything. So he was very curious. He used to ask permission to watch, to observe the kitchen. But at that time, in the kitchen, we had ladies. So it's quite hard to figure out these rich gentlemen being in the kitchen at that time. But of course, he was allowed to observe and used to take note. Why he used to observe instead of asking questions? Because I think that if we speak one with the other and we talk about our own experience at home, if I tell you, Silvia, if you ask to your grandmother for a recipe, what she will answer? Probably a pinch, a bit, then I see, more or less. There's no
you
way.
taste and then you adjust.
Yeah, that's correct, according to your taste,
Yeah.
okay? There's no way to get the exact recipes. We joke about this, but this is a part of our history. It's part of our cultural patrimony. This is home cooking, something that was born in a time where food was a need. Not enough food to feed the family. So they used to say, okay, let's find a trick. They were smart ladies. They were able to create great dishes, even when food was a need. Try to guess with those legendary 4 or 5 products of Emilia Romagna. Easy job.
Yeah,
easy
too
job.
easy.
So Mr. Pellegrino understood this. I said, we joke about this, but food historians explain us that when we deal with home cooking, this can never be codified, but only described. It means that you have to come and live this experience. So he used to take note. When he retired, he was born in 1820. When he retired, 1891, he was already 71 years old, he decided to collect all these recipes and publish a book. The title of the book is Science in the Kitchen and Art of Eating Well, which is the very first national Italian cookbook.
Of how many recipes are we talking about?
First edition was a collection of 475 recipes.
Wow.
Then something really incredible happened. You already said that we are quite involved in food. So all these people, this new Italian population, because Italy became a country only in 1861. So we were a new population in 1891. They got involved. They start sending him letters with other recipes. I mean, they used to read the book. What a great book, but you forgot this recipe that in our family. So they used to send letters with other recipe. Artusi used to go in the kitchen together with his servant, Marietta and Francesco, to test and taste the recipes. So including adding recipes, he was able to go through 15 editions of the book. The first 1891, the last one 1911 with 790 recipes. When 1911 is the last one because he died. When he died, he was 91 years old. We love thinking that being born in the food valley of Italy and eating well could be the reason of this long life formula.
I'm sure
this is the
it.
reason why we suggest everybody to come and live this experience. Anyhow, nowadays, Silvia, you know, you can go in any bookstore and find this book. I mean, it's not a story. It's about our history, but is everyday life. I mean, this is still a very popular book. Most important, Italian editors still print it. You can find it translated in English, French, in German, Dutch, Spanish, Portuguese, Russian, Polish, and I hope you will come very soon to Casa Artusi because you have to see the very last one in Japanese.
In Japanese as well, wow.
And we're already working, we have time this year, so we're already working on the Chinese. But that is to say that there's a great storytelling of this beautiful food valley that you can go through.
Because the two passions of Pellegrino Artusi were literature and gastronomy. So it's not only important, this book, for the recipes, but for the way he described it, which is really, it reflected the way of living.
It's correct, it's perfect. It's exactly as you say. It's not about food and recipe, it's more about Italian lifestyle.
Yeah. That's it. So Casa Artusi, we hope we convince you to visit Casa Artusi because
it's on the street, on the Via Emilia.
Yeah, exactly. And many people involved with food, famous cook, chef, food journalist came to visit Casa Artusi. We have an example. We would like to show you a very short video with the greetings of Marianne Esposito, an American anchor woman, very, very famous on USA TV. Can we have a look to the video?
Ciao, I'm Marianne Esposito, the host of the national TV program Ciao Italia, seen in the United States. Pellegrino Artusi, the father of true Italian regional cooking, has been a part of our program for over 30 years. And during this bicentennial, we salute Pellegrino Artusi for his enduring work in preserving il cibo italiano. Cin cin, Pellegrino Artusi.
That's it. Thank you, Marianne Esposito, or Esposito, as she was saying. Meanwhile, we have here an example of Marietta. Behind our shoulder, we can witness how it happens in Casa Artusi daily. Because in Casa Artusi, you can find a museum. It's a place for cooking classes. It's a venue for events. It's a multiple choice venue.
It's correct, it's correct. It's something that dare to be seen, of course. As you said, Silvia, the little town of Forlimpopoli could build up a museum, but they decided to build a cultural center dedicated to gastronomy, and exactly as his book, they created a cultural center dedicated to gastronomy, entirely devoted to Italian home cooking. So home cooking is what we do every day in our cookery school, in the restaurant, in all the seminaries and wine and food pairing that we organize. So try to guess, you are coming in the food valley of Italy, you do your trip, you discover where these beautiful products are made, produced, or better, handmade, as we said, and then you feel as a, okay, I have to live this authentic Italian experience. So we open doors to share with people this cultural patrimony. This is the reason why it's not a museum. A museum is a place where you celebrate something. A cultural center is a place where you share. So it's really incredible to see Italian and foreigner people, because this is an authentic Italian experience also for us. So not only foreigner people, but also people which are join our scheduled cooking classes, which are in Italian, of course. For foreigner people, we tailor-made and we do it in English or whatever. Or having company, Italian company, coming for a team building, for example.
Yeah, sure. We are seeing the Marietta. She's working, preparing the wonderful dough. But she already prepared some examples of pasta that that you can taste during the gastronomical tour along the Via Emilia.
That's correct.
Because according from where you are, you find the typical pasta of the territory. So you can have the annolini in Parma. You find
tortellini,
Modena and Bologna.
And you have to visit both.
Because because they're not the same. They have different measures, different size.
Exactly. You have to visit both.
Yes, exactly. And then we go on with, what do we have?
The cappelletti.
The cappelletti.
When you reach Romagna,
in Romagna,
cappelletti, which means little hat. Tortellini are beautiful, are small, with this little hole in the middle. They're always called, often quite called the Venus belly.
Yes, Venus belly
Venus
bottom.
belly bottom,
yeah,
exactly.
That's it.
Cappelletti means little hat,
yeah.
Okay? Usually, generally speaking, but then you come and you experience on your own, tortellini are filled with prosciutto, with ham, with meat, mortadella, and of course, the king, Parmigiano Reggiano. Usually, generally speaking, cappelletti are filled with cheese, fresh local cheese, which is squacquerone, ricotta, raviggiolo, and of course, Parmigiano Reggiano. Artusi, in his book, recipe number 7, Silvia.
Okay, I take note.
He gives us the recipe of the cappelletti. And on August 4, which was Artusi's birthday. I mean, this year we celebrate his 200th birthday anniversary. More than 150 restaurants run by Italian chefs in the world celebrate Artusi cooking cappelletti all'uso di Romagna.
Sure.
So maybe somebody who is listening to us had a chance to taste it in a restaurant. So now it's time to come and make it with us.
Yes, it is time to come. It's
true.
True.
We are lucky because these ladies that you see here, that you were so kind to invite us with them, is because they really represent an authentic Italian experience. They are volunteer.
Yes.
So this is a cultural association. We joined the cultural project of Casa Artusi. They are volunteers, so they are non-professional cook. They cook for their family at home. So try to guess how generous for them to meet absolutely stranger people for them, to cook with them, something that you do in the family, and share this. And it's good fun because, you know, they speak dialect.
Yeah, I was saying that.
So no problem for foreigner people. They speak dialect anyway. But this is really a way to preserve this cultural patrimony, which cannot be seen or read, but you have to live it.
But they are amazingly communicative.
You like them, huh?
Oh, I adore them. I adore them, really. Okay, well, we are almost at the end of our tour. We could mention also the piadina, not only
the
pasta,
the
local flat bread, often eaten with squacquerone cheese, another funny name for foreign people, a special fresh cheese of Romagna, of this territory, that is perfectly combined with piadina bread.
And then we have not only the sea, when you go southbound, you reach the sea of Emilia-Romagna, and also you go ahead with those beautiful hills where we produce great extra virgin olive oil.
Of course.
It's part of the Mediterranean diet, so it's a must.
Yes, yes. Well, we received many information, but if there are some questions, we can open our question time. We still have some few minutes. If you would like to, if you are curious to learn something more about a specific product, about a specific recipe, what can we do? What are the opportunities? Well, just tell us. Let me tell you, meanwhile, that I must say this is one of the most difficult fam trip to organize virtual. For us, food is not just a presentation of product. is a way to welcome people. We really love to sit at tables. Sometimes the critic that we receive during FemTrip is that you spend so much time sitting at table, but for us it's not wasted time. It's really part of welcoming people. It's part of our culture. It's the way that we know to feel people well welcomed in our region. So it's time to really come as soon as possible to try. Let me see what we have here. Oh, we have a question of for Casartusi, actually, for Susie. In Casartusi, do you accept one person only? Do you organize a cooking class for one person or a family as an experience in Casartusi?
Yes, we organize even for one person, because usually for foreigner guests we tailor-made. So according to their trip, if they want to spend half a day or just few hours or a full day, okay, we can manage it. Of course, if they are part of the same family or a little group of friends, they can have it together. Otherwise, in this particular historical period, we can organize one after the other. We have our cookery school is 22 meters per 7 with 20 fully equipped stations to cook. And at present, we use it only for 10. So there is plenty of room. And of course, for the reservation, you can go through Andrea Food Valley or to a Modena tour or call Bologna Welcome.
Sure, sure. And what could be more food experiences concerning cooking classes? Are there any other possibilities?
In Emilia, there are, of course, many possibilities, starting from going directly at home to the old ladies making pasta, up to the Michelin star chefs. Actually, some of them have also amazing locations. For example, their restaurants are inside the castles of the Duchy of Parma and Piacenza. So it's also a nice combination because you do something very funny and entertaining inside also a beautiful historical place. So
yeah, you learn history, you
and food at the same
admire
time.
pieces of work art, and at the same time you enjoy the typical food and learn how to cook typical recipes. Well, we are almost over, and we promise that if there are some other questions, we will answer to all of them per mail or in the last minute in the chat. Well, I hardly welcome you again in the next days, tomorrow and on Thursday, because we carry on our tour in Emilia-Romagna. After so much food tomorrow, we need to lose some calories, and the first fam trip at 4 o'clock will be about sport and wellness valley. Then at 5:30 there will be the fam trip concerning historic villages. We already mentioned some of them. We will learn about the special historic villages of the region, nature and Apennine. And on Thursday we focused more about culture, art and culture, first with listing the heritage site that are in Emilia-Romagna, and then at 5:30 with culture, cinema and entertainment. Let me see if oh, well, actually we have a couple of more questions that we would like to answer, as we have 5 minutes less. What about wines for Samuele? We talk about wines in Parma and in Modena. What about wines in the area of Bologna?
Well, first of all, I would suggest to try the Pignoletto, that is a typical wine that you can find in Bologna. But Silvia, actually, for a good experience, I would suggest to go to Dozza.
Sure.
Dozza, that is one of the most beautiful medieval towns of Italy, that hosts the regional winery of Emilia Romagna inside the Rocca Sforzesca, that is a castle. And in the dungeon of the castle, now there are no prisoners anymore.
No.
But you can find more than 1,000 labels that are divided for the food that you can combine it for. So first of all, you can find the wines that you can drink with starters, then first course, second course, and so on. And we can say that it's completely visit of the vineyards of all Emilia-Romagna region, from Piacenza to Rimini. And there, of course, there is a sommelier that can help you to and suggest you to what wine you can try and taste in the regional winery. Yes, that's what I would suggest. I hope that I answered.
Definitely,
okay.
definitely. One of the best places to try all of them.
All of them.
But you have to come by bus and not driving. That's very important.
Of course.
I have the last question for Luca. The difference between the traditional balsamic vinegar and the one that you can find in the supermarket. Why do we talk about traditional balsamic vinegar?
The difference, okay, there are two consortium. The PDO product, which is the traditional balsamic vinegar, which is made only by cooked grape juice that ages 12 or 25 years. And then there is the other consortium, EGP, which add to the cooked must also some part of wine vinegar. So that makes the process of production more faster because the acidity rises faster. So less time for production means more quantity and less price. So basically this is the difference in between the two products.
Okay, right. Thank you so much. And well, the last question is, if you are wondering why a rhino is hanging on my head, well, I can tell you that this special animal hanging here from the ceiling is part of the setting of a movie of Federico Fellini. His reproduction of part of the setting of the movie The Ship is Sailing On, E la nave va, and well, was especially placed here to remind the 100 years of the birth of Federico Fellini. And now we really have to stop here this fam trip because we have to go to eat the tagliatelle. It's almost dinner time for us. I know that some for you can be breakfast time or lunch time, but with all this beautiful pasta ready, we have something to do. Sorry for you. We hope you are already mouth-watering and you got curious to learn more, as I was saying, on site. As soon as we can, we warmly welcome you to Emilia-Romagna to learn, not only learn, but to taste the food valley of Emilia-Romagna. Thank you so much to all those who made this event possible, all the organization, the local authorities, the regional authorities who organized by Emilia-Romagna and this fam trip. I see you tomorrow with the first fam trip at 4 o'clock, Sport and Wellness Valley. Arrivederci and buon appetito.